animated beer bubble physics. No, I'm not kidding. That's literally the first thing I noticed when rewatching Trailer 2. In the scene with Jason asleep on the couch, you can actually see bubbles rising inside the opened beers on the table. And honestly, it's details like this that remind you why Rockstar's been working on this game for so long, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. And let's stick with that same scene for a second, because yeah, most people probably noticed that we've got a PS5 inside GTA 6 before it even drops on PS5. But look closer, there are two controllers on the table, and what blew my mind is how the controller's light bar actually reflects through the beer bottle. That's not just good lighting, that's insane attention to material and transparency. I'm genuinely worried this game will be packed with hundreds of tiny details like this that most people will never even notice. Now jump to the scene where Jason is bench pressing at the beach gym and check out the weight plates. They actually rotate slightly as he lifts. Like, what? That's such a tiny throwaway detail, and it's wild that Rockstar thought of something that small. I mean, they could have easily locked the weights in place and nobody would have said a thing. But nope, they animated the slight spin. And once again, that's the kind of obsession with realism we're dealing with here. Another thing that really stood out to me is glasses, and I'm not talking about drinkware this time. I mean actual sunglasses and reading glasses. In previous GTA games, they were mostly just textures, no real reflections, just kinda dull and flat. But in Trailer 2, you can clearly see they've stepped it up. Look closely, and you'll notice what looks like real-time reflections bouncing off the lenses. If reflections like that are consistent across NPCs, cutscenes, and gameplay, then yeah, this is a serious leap forward. Same goes for car mirrors. We already saw a glimpse of this in Trailer 1. In one of the scenes, there was a clear reflection showing in the side mirror. But now, in Trailer 2, we get multiple scenes confirming it wasn't just a one-off. The reflections are there, they're sharp, and they're dynamic. So, finally, car mirrors are doing what they're supposed to do, reflecting the actual world behind you. It's the kind of thing that sounds basic, but in open-world games, it's pretty rare. Rockstar's clearly pushing the Rage engine further than ever. But since we've still got a long way until GTA 6 drops, let me put you onto something you can play right now. Grand RP, today's sponsor. This server's been running strong for over 4 years, and that alone says a lot. They've proven themselves as one of the most reliable and feature-packed roleplay servers out there. Over the years, they've dropped a ton of unique systems you won't find anywhere else, and they keep things fresh with huge updates. The latest one adds new outfits on the auction, updated maps on BizWar, custom events, and they're already teasing a big summer update with a themed event and a brand new Battle Pass season. The registration process is super easy. You'll be in the game in just a few minutes. You can join completely free using the link in the description or the pinned comment. It's really worth it. The community is huge. You can join discussions, create your own stories, and enjoy the game together with other players or your friends. And if you're new, you'll get a bunch of bonuses to get started. Or if you've played before but haven't logged in a while, they'll hook you up with a free legendary BMW M5 just for coming back. Next up, liquid animation. When Jason's carrying that 6-pack of beer out of the store, watch closely. You can actually see the liquid inside each bottle sloshing around as he moves. It reacts naturally to every swing and tilt, like it has proper physics. And it doesn't stop there. When Jason and Lucia raise a toast to a new beginning, you can clearly see the liquid moving inside their glasses too. But the craziest example? That one guy waving an open beer around. And you can literally see it spilling out, splashing onto the ground. The attention to detail is on point here. And speaking of attention to detail, the environment reflections in this game are absolutely insane. In one of the scenes where Jason's passed out on the couch, you can actually see the TV screen reflecting not just on the glass picture frame to the left, but also on the surface of the table. It's subtle, but once you notice it, you realize just how far Rockstar has pushed their engine. These aren't just baked-in reflections either. They look dynamic in real time, so they went all in with ray-traced reflections this time around. The first-person driving animations look seriously leveled up. As far as I remember, we already had characters subtly vibing to the music in GTA 5, but here in 6, it looks even more refined. There's that gameplay-looking scene where Jason's tapping his finger to the beat on the steering wheel, and it feels so fluid and natural, like you're watching a real person zone out to their favorite track. Makes me think we'll see more of these kinds of small, unscripted moments during gameplay, not just static hands on the wheel. Let's talk hair, because GTA 6 might be going full Red Dead 2 levels here, or even beyond. Jason is shown with different beard and hair lengths throughout the trailer, from short stubble to a full beard, and clean cut to slicked back styles. That strongly suggests we're getting a dynamic hair growth system, not just preset haircuts. And it's not just about styles. The hair physics look unreal. In the prison scene where Lucia gets out, her hair looks incredibly detailed and lifelike. I'm honestly curious how long her hair can get. If there's an option to max it out, I'm going for it, just to watch the physics in action. You can already see how insane it gets in that explosion scene with the destroyed bus. Her hair's getting whipped around by the wind like it's being hit by a real blast. And since we're on that bus scene, let's talk about how insane the vehicle destruction looks. Look closely at the foreground. You've got shattered glass everywhere, broken shards laying across the rear, a whole metal panel ripped off, and even exposed wires dangling out. That's next level detail. I really hope this isn't just a scripted mission cutscene and that we'll actually get destruction like this during gameplay. I'm not saying we need BeamNG drive level physics. That would be overkill and probably kill performance. But if vehicles in GTA 6 can visually fall apart with more depth than in 5, like panels ripping or parts getting shredded, that'd be a massive upgrade. Now, let's get into body variation and the possible return of gym mechanics. In that beach scene we mentioned earlier, Jason's benching 270 pounds like it's nothing, and Lucia's throwing kicks in what looks like an underground fighting club. All signs are pointing to the return of the muscle-fat stamina system from San Andreas, but probably way more advanced this time. Some people are already speculating that Jason and Lucia's physiques actually change throughout the trailer, but honestly, it's hard to say for sure, since their outfits vary a lot and can mess with how their bodies look. But still, the fact that Rockstar's showing this kind of physical activity on screen makes it feel very likely we'll be able to bulk up or slim down based on how we play. Another detail worth pointing out, Lucia's wearing an ankle monitor in every single scene she appears in. That could mean she's on parole or house arrest early in the story, and it might actually limit her freedom at the start of the game. Kinda like how earlier GTA games used to lock off parts of the map until you progressed far enough. Maybe with Lucia, you'll have mission or movement restrictions for a while, but Jason, being free, could still explore Leonida without limits. It's a cool mechanic if they actually go through with it, especially if it creates a bit of contrast in how the two characters experience the open world. And let's talk drive-bys, because they've clearly been upgraded. In one scene, Jason leans out of the car window while using his weapon. It looks so much smoother and more cinematic compared to GTA 5's pretty basic side-shooting animation. Funny enough, this actually feels like a throwback to GTA 4, which had similar leaning animations during shootouts. It's nice to see Rockstar bringing that back, but this time with way more polish, and hopefully this isn't just for cutscenes. Here's one of those tiny details most people probably missed, but it's kind of wild. A Reddit user pointed out that the jet contrails in one of the shots might actually be super accurate. At first glance, it looks off. The plane's flying low, landing gear still down, and yet it's leaving a vapor trail, which usually only happens at high altitude. But after digging into it, it turns out this is legit. In humid coastal areas like Florida, if a jet is climbing right after takeoff or coming in for landing, the exhaust can hit a layer of cool, moist air and still leave a visible trail, even just a few thousand feet up. It's one of those insane regional realism details that Rockstar definitely didn't have to include, but they did anyway. Something else I've been thinking about, could getting a tan actually be a thing in GTA 6? Jason doesn't always seem to have the exact same skin tone in every shot, and that might not just be lighting. We already had sunburn mechanics in RDR 2, so Rockstar clearly knows how to mess with skin effects based on environmental exposure. Considering how much time we'll probably spend shirtless in the Florida sun, it wouldn't be surprising if they added some kind of tanning system. Yeah, we all expected GTA 6 to have better textures than 5. That's a given, but it's the tiny things that really blow my mind. Like this one. Someone noticed that on one of the cash registers, the number 9 is actually more worn out than the other digits. And that makes total sense. Most prices end in .99, so the 9 would be pressed way more often. That's such a crazy level of detail. The amount of animals in GTA 6 is actually wild compared to previous games. The trailer is packed with them. There's a raccoon digging through trash, an iguana chilling near Jason's house, tons of birds everywhere, and even a red python that might actually be Jason and Lucia's pet. There's also something that looks like a capybara, a Doberman, and then, yeah, whatever these are, the super jacked swan pool toys. Okay, those don't count, but still, the variety of animals already makes the world feel much richer than any GTA before. Now on the flip side, if you were expecting every single building to be enterable in GTA 6, yeah, that's probably not gonna happen, at least not based on what we saw in Trailer 2. I noticed a few spots using parallax interiors. Those are fake 3D illusions that make it look like there's depth behind windows, but it's really just a flat texture reacting to the camera angle. It's a trick we've seen in games before. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We'll likely still get tons of real interiors to explore, but definitely not every building is going to be open. I originally wanted this video to focus strictly on the graphical side of things, but there were a few other details that caught my attention, and I just couldn't leave them out. So let's talk about them real quick. There's a quick shot in the trailer that looks straight out of Fast 5, a car speeding through the city while dragging a massive vault behind it. We've never really had anything like that in a GTA mission before. It might just be a scripted set piece, but what if it's more than that? Imagine if GTA 6 lets us actually tie things to vehicles using ropes or chains, not just for heists, but for creative problem solving, like ripping a door off a building instead of picking the lock, dragging an ATM machine out of a gas station, or even pulling another car out of the mud, maybe even something as wild as lassoing an NPC and dragging them like in Red Dead. There's also a moment where Lucia delivers a flying kick straight into someone's chest, and the whole setting looks like some kind of underground fight club. It's giving serious brawling minigame vibes, maybe even a full side activity. This wouldn't be totally new if you remember GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. That game had underground cage fighting too, but let's be honest, most people either forgot or never even played that DLC. If Rockstar brings that idea back with modern combat mechanics, better animations, and maybe even some kind of ranking or betting system, it could become one of the best side hustles in the game. Something that really stands out in Trailer 2 is how much social media seems to be woven into the world. You've got scenes where characters are filming themselves, others going viral, even what looks like live streams during chaos. It feels like your actions might not just catch the attention of the cops, but also the internet. That could open up a whole new system. Maybe the more you go viral, the more heat you attract, or maybe it affects your notoriety, unlocks, or mission paths. It's definitely something we've never seen in a GTA game before, and it fits perfectly with the modern-day setting. Another subtle but exciting detail, both Lucia and Jason are seen wearing what looks like iFruit branded AirPods. Lucia wears them in one of the official screenshots, and Jason's rocking a pair while bench pressing on the beach. This could finally mean we'll be able to listen to the radio outside of vehicles, similar to how it worked in Watch Dogs. Michael had earbuds in one of the GTA 5 missions too, but we couldn't actually use them in gameplay. It was just a one-time thing for that cutscene. Hopefully this time Rockstar goes all in. Being able to vibe to your favorite station while walking around Leonida would be such a vibe. In the final shot of the trailer, when Lucia and Jason are driving off in their red Tulip against the sunset, take a close look at the passenger side door. It has a completely different color than the rest of the car. In Trailer 1, that same car had matching doors, so this might be a hint at something deeper. Could we be getting panel swapping or more detailed respray options? Maybe even damage-specific repairs, where you only fix or repaint certain parts instead of the whole car. Vehicle details in GTA 6 are on another level. Just look at the tire tread. In one shot, you've got this insanely detailed all-terrain pattern, and in another, a completely different off-road variant, and a hitch ornament attached. It's the kind of stuff that shows they're not just reusing same variants of vehicles anymore. And then there's the red Benz. With its oversized rims, it looks like you'll be able to donk out almost any car, maybe with Midnight Club level rim size options. But it's not just the cars that are evolving. Even the safe house Jason's staying in seems to change over time. One shot has a makeshift curtain, basically just a sheet, while another shows a proper window blind installed. Tools are rearranged, a paint roller leans against the wall, and there's even protective cardboard laid down on the floor near the door, something that wasn't there when Jason first enters the place. I just hope this isn't some scripted story progression and that we'll actually get to customize and upgrade our apartments the way we want. So what do you think? Did Rockstar actually cook this time? Is this level of improvement over GTA 5 enough to blow your mind, or is there something you still think they're missing? And if you spotted any tiny details I didn't cover today, drop them in the comments down below. And once again, if you haven't yet, make sure to check out Grand RP using the link in the description or the pinned comment down below. It's free to join and definitely worth a try.